in Manhattan, Kansas at Morgan Family Arena for a night of Big 12 volleyball here on ESPN+. A big night in the league. We'll get to the other matches coming up in just a moment. On with you, here's courtside Brian Smolder along with two-time American Liz Wagner-Bush and soon to join us, Sophie Smith. We'll have top 25 action later tonight here on ESPN+. First, the lid lifter sees K-State and Texas Tech both trying to bounce back from tough losses on Wednesday night. Yeah, Texas Tech looking for their first Big 12 win on the road. This would be a huge win for them tonight. And K-State, trying to get back on track. They got road matches coming. Yeah, big one, big road trip on the horizon. Let's look at our individuals that will starring role tonight. Passing was talked about by both coaches. Simone Sims, the libero for K-State. Yeah, Simone Sims has stepped into the libero role for K-State this year. In the last 7 matches, 18 digs per match, 3.9, almost 4 digs per set. She's had 20+ digs 4 times. She's going to have to really keep the ball off the floor for K-State, and we see her flying all across the floor. K-State does well. And then for Texas Tech, they have Sierra Grizzle, the junior, one of the leaders here on the team. The last 9 matches, almost 20 digs per match, almost 5 digs per set. She's had 7 20+ digs, already amassed 324 digs this season and 21 aces. So she's an important role for this Texas Tech really young team. You know who the liberos are because they wear special jerseys. And speaking of jerseys, it's jersey night tonight here at Morgan Family Arena as we go to Sophie Smith, who's got her special jersey on herself.
That's right, Brian. You know how to participate, and the only way I would know how is to wear our very own Liz Wagner-Bush's game-worn jersey. So if you see some jerseys in the stands, just know they're not as cool as mine. And if you also see some pink in Morgan Family Arena, teams are honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I'm going to go change it to my pink, and I'll be right back.
All right. I love it, Sophie. Thank you very much. I think you saw one of these clips here, Liz Wagner actually wearing that jersey that Sophie is wearing here tonight on Tuesday night. Some great highlights of you, Liz, and back in the glory days at Hearn Fieldhouse lining up Texas A&M, it would appear, in that highlight there.
Fun matchup.
And there's your daughter wearing your jersey again as well.
That's right.
Bryn, youngest here of the Bush athletic family, taking in this one here tonight. Packed house at Morgan Family Arena. Special environment of the Big 12. We're underway. Candace Lundgren for K-State in the white, Texas Tech in the black, and off to work on the left side with Bellamy. Myers from the back row got touched. Set a little too far out to get anything on that. First point of the night, though, will go to K-State, and it's Fox from the right side.
Yeah, see, Grizzle does a nice job digging that pipe by Myers back row, and we saw she's been really good at that back row text. They're really going to try to slow that down.
I think that would be number 1 in the scouting report after K-State used a lot of those match on Wednesday night in the loss to Iowa State. Iowa State and Kansas playing as we speak. Iowa State won the first set over in Lawrence. See how that one progresses. And then later, some big ones. 16th ranked Baylor at Arizona. We saw Arizona here play one of their best matches of the season. They'll be trying to bounce back from a tough loss against Colorado, and Colorado, who's been one of the surprises in the Big 12, ranked 24th this week. They're at 8th-ranked Arizona State tonight. Great volleyball on ESPN Plus 12. K-State with the side out. Kaylee Pong, true freshman, in to serve. Big swing and a finish from Kali Gioshi-Vili-Rava. And Gioshi Vili-Rava is someone who we'll talk about a lot tonight. It may just be Kali Rava at times, that is what she goes by. Star player from big boost to the Red Raiders. Service error, our first of the night for Texas Tech. It comes in 8-9, 0-5 in the league as you look at Rava, who has done such a great job leading this team. 3.15 kills per set as a true freshman. Outside hitter starring roles tonight with Clinton and Myers for K-State, who both are red hot the last 2 weeks. With 2 straight double-doubles, Myers rolling along, 10-match stretch, averaging 5.26 kills per set in the last 10 matches.
Yeah, swing there by Myers, nice and high block, get some hands, but with the power, Grizzle not able to handle that back row.
Myers second in the Big 12 in kills. As Clinton has a service error. Slide out back over to Texas Tech. I'll be curious to see the emotions for K-State tonight, because even though it's a sellout, another packed house here at Morgan Family Arena with a football game tomorrow. Listen, Iowa State is somewhat of a rivalry game, and you could tell they were wanting that. Going 5 sets, losing it on your home court, first loss in 5 sets all year. There was a little bit of shock at the end of that they weren't going to put that one out. How do you come out against the Texas Tech team that, admittedly, emotionally, you're just not as you might have been on Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's definitely a process to work through, and I'm sure something Coach has talked about with his team. Like, you know, they battled hard against Iowa State. Iowa State is a very good team, and it is a rivalry game because it's always a knockdown dragout every year. But you've got to bounce back. You know, it's go time. There's no rest in the Big 12. Match in, match out. Texas Tech is gonna be out here trying to get blood here tonight.
Yep, they won 4 and barely lost in 4, losing 29-27 in the 4. Houston, perennial power in the college volleyball world, and they lost in 4 at Iowa State last week. So Tech has shown great ability to compete with just about anyone. Myers couldn't get it over on a swing. Touched by K-State on McDonald. A block on Myers. Raba, too high. Yoshibidi Raba too hard with that attack, and Texas Tech will give up the serve. Emerson Van Lanen in.
Texas Tech's really trying to push some fast tempo offense, really getting their middles involved early.
Quicker tempo there. It's interesting because for years, and we've talked with Coach Greystone about this, players from Europe coming over, the game, it was mentioned it was always slow. They wanted those big, high, slow sets. Valley Hayish in the past for K-State. Another one that comes to mind. Rita Lilliam. Internationals, sometimes they want those slow, high sets. It seems like that has not been the case. Oh, great swing by Myers off an incredible back row pass. Dump attempt by LeGrand. Bellamy on the left. Myers with nobody in front.
And got to credit LeGrand. We've talked about it so often. Her being front row, her offensive prowess. That block Texas Tech gave Myers one-on-one, and every time that's going to be a kill for Myers.
Donald stayed in the middle. So now LeGrand to the back row to serve. Misplay by Raba. Myers takes something off, gets it in front of Grizzle.
We've seen power, we've seen a little finesse from Myers. Again, something she's put a lot of time and effort in, you know, broadening her toolbox and what shots she has available, and why she's one of the top attackers in the Big 12.
We saw this on Wednesday night. K-State came out on fire and rolled Iowa State 25-16. Frankly, it wasn't even that close. It was more 25-12, just utter domination, and Myers was a big part of that. She had 8 kills in that first set on Wednesday night, but credit to the Cyclones. They adjusted and shut down Myers for the most part the rest of the way. Myers on the right. It was a touch on the block. Fox. Tight set for Bellamy. Out on the block. It's a Tech side out.
Smart play there by Bellamy. Inside set. Just wipes it off the hands of K-State's block.
Houston transferred, and Bellamy spent her first 2 seasons with the Cougars. Did not play as a freshman. In on a quick set. Trying to establish the middle early.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be super hard. You know, a good placement by those middles, especially kind of finding those seams.
Sims got it up. Myers will get it close. K-State passes over. Right side ripped by Knuff. The missed wide. 6'5", right-hander that has, for the second season, operated. Adi Canuck, former two-time Under Armour All-American Camp Invitational participant. Out of the prep ranks. Service error right back by K-State. Passing a concern for Jason Mansfield coming into this week. Consistency in the passing by his team. He talked about it after the loss to Iowa State. That was their bugaboo. Serve, receive, and passing just crippled any chance they had of making a comeback against Iowa State. We've seen this K-State offense with the weapons they have, Liz, compete with anybody once they're passing well.
When everything's going the right direction, they are a very powerful team that can compete with teams in the country. But when that passing is off, you know it's very difficult to get that offense going, and then you become so outside heavy. And
even as good as Myers and Clinton are, you're not, outside of very few teams, you can't live just throwing the passes to the pins every time.
Right.
Good dig in the back row by Rava there. Grizzle able to set it up. K-State digs. Sims for Clinton. High shot, got the touch. Clinton aiming for the high hands, gets the kill. Clinton, as we mentioned, playing well. Last matches, 4.4 kills per set and 2.5 digs per set. Here's Sims to serve. Sporting some good tape on that right wrist. This one long, no point. State says there was a touch. They may challenge. We saw 4 consecutive points challenge in the match on Wednesday against Iowa State, all reversed.
I want to know if that's a record.
The original call was no touch. This Tech is challenging that there was a block touch.
Jelly Sims is our floor official today. And yes, there was a touch. Good shot from that low angle.
Well, Belney was definitely fighting for that challenge. And as you've mentioned, you know, the players know, you know, often you can tell by their reactions a lot of times.
Yep. Fox, who's in there primarily for her role as a blocker. Sue, great length. You pair her with Lundgren or Schmidt when Schmidt's healthy, the starting middle for K-State.
The call will be reversed. Texas Tech will retain their challenge.
So good by Tony Greystone and his Red Raiders. 2 challenges for each team, each match. If you win the challenge, you are allowed to keep it, and you get an extra challenge in the 5th if you've lost one during the match. So look at Coach Greystone in his 10th year. After 7 years at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, 10 years at West Texas A&M, 3-time or 5-time regional coach of the year. Quick set middle. Williams didn't get much on it. LeGrand with a dig. Clinton again off the block. One thing we did not see much of in the match on Wednesday was K-State tooling the block. Sometimes I think they're so conscious of trying to keep it in that perhaps that option doesn't come to mind.
Right, yeah, and you know, definitely using those hands. It's so hard to dig behind a nice block. So no more automatic kill most of the time. When things get rough, that's always a good option, and I think sometimes that doesn't come always to that forefront, you know, when you're out there playing. And, you know, Clinton's one a very good using the block, and something we've seen her have a lot of success with, and here already tonight starting to use that block, a good sign for K-State. 2
kills for Clinton. Myers from the back row finds space. Midway through set 1, K-State with a 5-point lead on a 3-0 run. Myers with 4 kills, hitting .444. And Jordan Williams providing some of the defense for K-State as well. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN+. Got students filling out the purple pit. Willie over there signing some autographs as well. Kansas State battles Texas Tech tonight in front of another packed house at Morgan Family Arena. Built 3 years ago, this new facility for K-State volleyball, the volleyball-only facility, 3,000 capacity. The building shares its home with the Morris Family Athletic Training Complex, an Olympic Training Center that's right next door for all the sports that don't have their own weight room. They all have an enormous athletic training complex to our left, whirlpools, the whole 9 yards. Another pass that goes over the net, and K-State waiting with Clinton. And now she's got 3 kills.
K-State trying to serve short and interrupt the attackers there for Texas Tech, kind of all around that 10-foot line.
Saw that late in the match against Iowa State. K-State went for that short serve. Good turn here by Texas Tech to break the 4-0 run by K-State. That is Tatum Johnson, redshirt freshman, transfer from Colorado. Who had not played the last couple of matches. She gets the finish. Clinton on the outside, and she bangs it home. Johnson, the only blocker in the vicinity at 5'11".
Yeah, and you've got the middle for Texas Tech served and came in to play defense and just not able to handle that shot by Clinton.
Clinton back to serve on Wednesday night, had a great night serving for the Wildcats. Johnson playing a little on the right side, and they will get the call on the cross-court shot by Johnson. 6-2 offense run by Texas Tech with Peyton Dunn and Caitlin Cochran as the 2 setters, so you'll have 3 hitters up front all the time. It lends itself to having a lot of people rotate in. Tony Greystone's squad. Jordan Williams again for K-State.
Jordan Williams coming off having 12 kills in the match against Iowa State. Something Coach Mansfield's going to be really excited about. Her offensive prowess kind of coming forward. Really need to have more middle involvement for the Wildcats here as they go through the Big 12.
Brenna Schmidt still out, starting middle blocker along with Williams. State has leaned on Candace Lundgren to step into that role. Lundgren in at the moment up front. Myers getting another kill, but Williams being healthy has been a huge part for K-State as it's allowed them to enjoy Williams and getting her offensive prowess going. She's been in double figures for 2 straight. We mentioned that Texas Tech, who uses their second time out here, a team that will use a lot of players, and that is something that Tony Greystone talked about with a younger team. More on that, let's go to Sophie Smith.
That's right, Brian. He actually called this season a season of development. He says they've got a lot of inexperience up and down the lineup, but that's given a lot of different opportunities for a lot of different players, and it's opened up a lot for this team. He continued to say that they go into every match just not wanting to use 8 or 9 players. If they have to go to their whole roster, they will.
All right, thank you, Sophie. They may run out the whole roster here tonight. We asked them the question, is it injuries? You know, some people are out. Iowa State was dealing with middle hitter issues. They were only down to 2. K-State's been dealing with issues with their middle hitters as well, with injury and outside hitter. Not the case for Tony Greystone. They had a complete roster overhaul from last year to this year and had to get a young team back in here and all playing together. Hard to do. Trying to still work out the kinks offensively.
Well, you know, with a young team like this, you know, night in, night out, it's going to be who's playing well, who's feeling it, who's got it together, and then who's not, and who's going to step in and kind of fill the role that you need. And, you know, that's the nice thing about having a bunch of young players. You just get them in there, give them opportunities, and, you know, I think definitely players will start to step up, and as they progress and continue to grow as a team, that will help them kind of get better and be willing to kind of adjust on the fly, you know, not always having that same person next to you.
9 underclassmen on the roster, 8 of them freshmen for Texas Tech. McDonald, one of the veterans on this team, asked about whether there was an unsung hero on this squad. Coach Greystone mentioned her name. She delivers the finish. Transfer from Morgan State in her 6th and final year of school. COVID year and an injury season. Good serve has Clinton to the ground. Here comes Myers on a tight set. Block one on Bellamy. First block of the night for either side. And the aforementioned Lundgren part of that.
Does a nice job closing and finishing with that left hand.
See just how much reach she has at 6'5". K-State very excited about her future. Getting some valuable experience here with Schmidt out. That one off the block into the antenna, so a point to K-State. Myers cleans that up and has 6 kills. And again, Legrand to the back row to serve. Donald. Point for the Red Raiders. Pass went over the net. To finish the point about Texas Tech, they've only had 3 players, or 1 player I should say, play in every set this season.
Wow. you don't find that too often.
That's Grizzle, the libero. On the other side, K-State had 5 players play in every set this season. Fox on the left. Near the net, unable to be played by Texas Tech.
Fox is another one of those outside hitters for K-State. They'd like to see her numbers, her production offensively to kind of improve, especially again as they look to go on the road with some tough matchups here coming up.
Into the net for the Red Raiders. Legrand able to get a hand on it. Out to Clinton, who tools the block and gets another kill. And it's not a surprise, but Clinton and Myers each with over 5 kills in set 1, and it's set point. Bellamy got it off the head of Legrand, but a good block by Tech will deny K-State set point number 1. Center rotation, Peyton Dunn, super senior into the back row. And she'll serve with Tech needing a whole bunch of points to get into extra points. Crowd on their feet here at Morgan Family Arena. Fox on the right, popped up by Grizzle. Johnson, who just came in, got blocked, puts it over. Myers from the pipe with number 7. 8 kills on Wednesday in the first set, 7 kills in the first set on Friday for the Big 12's leading outside hitter. 2-time Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Her and her 1-2 punch partner Clinton dominating here on ESPN+.
Great fortune awaits with Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery. Win up to $125,000 instantly, plus even more with the Play On app. Unleash your luck today.
Behind every winning team is a playbook. Ours, it's built on trust, team, care, passion. Headquartered in Manhattan, Kansas, and founded by proud K-State alumni, we're purple to the core. Just like our passion for the Cats, our passion to make buying and selling equipment simple, transparent, and straightforward runs deep. At Purple Wave Auction, our #1 play is connecting buyers and sellers across the country with no reserves and no surprises. From ag and construction to fleet equipment, we're your trusted team. Purple Wave Auction, proud sponsor of K-State Athletics.
Hey, grab me one too. we grow here defies expectation. Hungry minds searching for answers. Explorers of the impossible. Breakthroughs without end. People who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You'd be amazed at what we grow here.
Another great start for the Wildcats here on a Friday night. They dominate Texas Tech. Score of 25-15. K-State hit 421, largely because of their left side. And again, it's just what we talked about. When K-State passes well, they are very hard to stop at the pins and really anywhere offensively.
Yeah, the tempo that LeGrand is able to run when they're passing in system really lends to a lot of success. Blocks are having a hard time getting two blockers up, so we're seeing a lot of one-on-one opportunities for the attackers for K-State, which is why they're hitting so well, here tonight.
Already 6 digs for Sierra Grizzle, leading the way for Texas Tech. She is the leading libero and digs for the conference, so that's not a surprise. So 330 now in the season for a young lady that ranks among the top 25 in the U.S. in digs per sets coming into tonight. Unfortunately, she can't do it all, and as good as she has been getting ups on some of those shots from the outside hitter of K-State, the second touch appears to be the issue for Iowa State, or for Texas Tech. They have not been able to get good sets and rhythm for their outside hitters. So for Tony Greystone, can't get connectivity. It seems like just the connection has not, and that's something you can't necessarily coach, is with all the young players and new faces. As he said, it's kind of like K-State. You have a lot of players that are veterans, but they're transfers from other schools where they really didn't play a whole lot. So that connection, as much as you want to try and build it, players like Rava didn't even get here till August for Lubbock, for Texas Tech. Hard to get that in the midst of the season. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to really hammer that down when you're trying to prep for teams and traveling and all the things that come along with the season, and it happens fast. And so kind of just have to take it on the fly and continue to encourage your team, the team, to kind of stay together and fight through it and play for each other. And I think that's kind of their motto. Kansas State with a dominant set 1 win. What does set 2 have in store for us? Wide on the mark on the first swing from Texas Tech. The Red Raiders came into today hitting 173 as a team on the season. That is the worst in the Big 12. So offense has been the issue for the Red Raiders. K-State hitting 239 as a team, middle of the pack. Attack here from the back row by Robin. I think a good decision there. Just that set was a little low for Rava, really, to get that ball over the net. Dunn, a transfer from Auburn in her first year as one of those setters for Texas Tech. She's in the match at the moment. Tech has flipped from a 5-1 to a 6-2 at times this year. We'll see if that's the case later here in this match. Clinton unable to hit that high sky pass over the net. At the moment, still in a 6-2 are the Red Raiders. Serve at Sims. Good serve receive. Clinton. Off the mark. Robin did not get a touch. Now Pawn back to serve. Ace to the back line. Definitely appeared initially like that ball would be going out, but it dropped last minute to find the line. Pawn's facial reaction would also back up that she thought she mishit it. Kind of had an excuse me grin on her face. Big roots in the center by Williams. It's a really nice read there by Williams. She stays loaded and patient. Watches that middle. Able to get a good
drop her hands in that seam.
Rava with the tip. Williams on the slide. One of the things you and I over the years have talked about, either through texting or when we do matches, is it doesn't matter the team. You just hate it. You hate injuries. You hate to see it when a young lady goes down, especially if they're down for any extended period of time. You just know, as much as there is now pro volleyball, it's not as big as the NFL or anything. So this is kind of this is the ultimate.
It is. And
you hate to miss time. And there's some part of you, whether you're a fan of K-State or not, but just a volleyball fan, happy to see Jordan Williams healthy and getting a full healthy season, because that has not happened in her career.
Yes, especially her final season. You know, able to go out on top, and really we're seeing what, you know, everyone knew, was hoping that she was going to be able to accomplish.
Jordan Williams getting on fire for K-State, and a high five from her head coach. The middle blocker who went from the Kentucky Wildcat blue to K-State Wildcat purple, dominating on ESPN+. Kansas State with a strong start here to set number 2 against Texas Tech. Wildcats getting Jordan Williams on track. 6 kills for Jordan Williams, behind Meyer's 7 and just above Clinton's 5. Perfect way to draw it up if you're K-State. Sims on another good dig, or a service save, I should say. And then Myers from the back row. A 9-1 start for K-State in the second. And if this is your first time watching K-State, this is why the coaches of K-State were very high on where the ceiling of this team could be, because of the weapons offensively that they're able to put together when it all goes right. Pond, shallow serve, miss hit, and a service error. So Tech gets a point and a side out after that. Jason Mansfield in his 3rd year as the head coach at Kansas State, trying to see his team pick up win number 10 of the season and their 5th here at home. Clinton. Johnson.
Little tricky play there by Johnson. Just sneaks it over the arms of Clinton.
Staying guessing for a hard smash cross court. Not a changeup. Another good serve received by Sims. Clinton into the hands. And a nice round of applause from Jason Mansfield, who knows a thing or two about outside hitters. 25 All-Americans, 5 Olympians during his time as an assistant coach, coaching outside hitters, Stanford, Washington. And now here at K-State, Clinton into the net. Back-to-back service errors on their possession for K-State. That's now 4 on the night. They do have 2 aces. Serving at Clinton. Myers, hard throw into the block. Yet another perfect receive on the serve.
Yeah, K-State's doing a really nice job. Even some really tough, high, deep serves, and really doing a nice job moving with that ball, keeping their platform nice and simple.
Yeah, regardless of the play at the net from Texas Tech, you know, we talked about before, young team, still trying to figure things out. Their connections have been a little off. Take all that away, just serving and passing, because that can make a difference for a team that maybe doesn't have the same firepower as an opponent. And LeGrand called into the net. But K-State has handled serve, some pretty good serves, very well here tonight. Which, moving forward into the road stretch that you mentioned earlier, Liz, will be critically important. K-State's next 5 matches: at Baylor, at TCU, at Kansas, at Utah, at BYU. All are currently ranked, and Utah has been in the top 25 for much of the season. Dig on Myers, nobody gets to it, and it ends up as a kill. And Myers into double figures once again.
Yeah, great dig there by Grizzle, but no one able to run that down and give their team an opportunity. Those are kind of some of those misconnections that Coach Greystone's talked about with this team.
Ran by the service there. 6 losses in a row is what could be on the horizon for Tech if they don't win here tonight. They've lost 5 straight, 6 of 7. Had a good non-con, but been a little tough sledding in the league to begin. Shaylee Myers with her 11th kill, 0 errors on 18 swings for Myers. Enough was dug by Sims. Clinton looking for hands again, went too tall. Well, they do get a touch. And it is a point to K-State. Well, the scoreboard went the other way, so this should put us at 15. And it should be a timeout. But late recognition. And a point to Texas Tech. So this is all messed up. The score is wrong. It should be 15-7, not 14-8, and we should be at a timeout. Oh, did it? Texas Tech. Now they've got the score corrected, 15-7. Texas Tech did use a timeout earlier. Our score panel wrong there. Get that figured up. Fox, tip try. Blocked by K-State, but it goes out.
It's a nice up by Grizzle, the pancake save.
Look at that. Great addition out of Wyoming as Grizzle. Again, Clinton looking for the high hands. This time shot it over everyone. Clinton with 4 attack errors to go with her 7 kills. She does have 7 digs already. Clinton on the turn. LeGrand fed it to her quickly on a cross-court set.
K-State even in that transition phase, really trying to keep that tempo.
Ace for Sims. 3 aces in this set for the Wildcats, but also 3 errors. Big swing, and Williams, who took that shot, went down to a knee, but looks to be all right. Just get your bell rung for a second when that ball comes in that hard. anyone that's played soccer or volleyball, when you get a shot to the face, you tear up immediately because it just hits everything, and it's not from pain, although there is pain, right?
Yes.
But you're a doctor, you know. It's right. It's like there's some sort of physiological reaction in your body when your nose gets popped like that.
There's nothing like it. And that tells you how high Jordan Williams is getting up, blocking.
Ball was smoked by Kenna McKenzie, true freshman from Waco, Texas. So received not great from Myers. Clinton ends up just having to pass it over. Quick set to the middle and long from Jasmine Martin. That part of the floor was wide open for Martin, but she could not get the connection. Martin and McDonald both are sixth-year seniors. Playing for Texas Tech. Service goes over, and it'll be another ace for K-State. And it'll be a second for Pond. So Pond with 2 aces for the second time this season. And then floats one too long. Cats have gone after it with the serve in this set. 4 aces, 4 errors, but you'll take that trade-off.
Yeah. Especially with the score and where you're at, you want to be aggressive with your serve.
Pause is done, wanted to wipe her hands off with the towel at the tower. Picking on Shaylee Myers. K-State goes to Clinton and through the double block. It doesn't matter. Clinton with another kill. She's got 9. Sophie talked about on Wednesday night Clinton's journey dealing with injuries, having to push through it. Playing such great volleyball here the last week or so. Another flying dig by Clinton. Sent all the way wide right. To be played over by LeGrand. It gets everybody back home. And then a roof by Williams and Myers.
Myers and Williams do a really nice job not jumping on that setter. But Myers gets all of that one.
One of the advantages of defending a 6-2. First away shot by McDonald. K-State gets it. Quick set Myers into the block. Tech plays it well. Tight set and a block by K-State on the left.
You see LeGrand does a nice job adjusting last minute. That set was tight and low towards the outside, and she kind of adjusts her hands enough to keep that into the court.
Wildcats hitting .407 for the night. 381 in this set. Tip try by Rava. LeGrand on the run. Pipe shot for Clinton. Did she catch the net or catch the floor? She did. And with K-State rolling here in set number 2, K-State's going to bring in Mackenzie Jones for a few points. The Topeka native for Jordan Williams. Redshirt sophomore in Jones makes her second appearance of the year. Off the block of K-State. Kill for Johnson. Side out Tech. Center rotation now. Cochran back to serve. Jones played at Topeka West for K-State. She hadn't played since the Nevada match. Got in for one set and that one. Her third year with K-State. Another block on Rava. And it's Jones who gets mobbed by her teammates.
Jones has gotten some experience in the last year here with K-State, able to make a nice block move there, stays patient at the net, doesn't overreact.
McDonald on a quick set, breaks set point number 1. Myers to try and end the second. Clinton with the dig. Lundgren whiffs on the middle. And it'll be a third set point for the Wildcats. Rava back to serve. Kali Gioshibili Rava. Upon the overpass. Lundgren making the grand that goes up and battles and finishes it for K-State. A 2-set-to-none lead for the Wildcats. A dominance of volleyball here tonight. This is the Big 12 on ESPN+.
Avery, are you ready to play?
Always.
Play Wildcat Riches from the Kansas Lottery for a chance to win up to $360,000 instantly. Download the Kansas Lottery Play On app and get in the game.
Let's play, Wildcats.
Behind every winning team is a playbook. Ours, it's built on trust, team, care, passion. Headquartered in Manhattan, Kansas, and founded by proud K-State alumni, we're purple to the core. Just like our passion for the Cats, our passion to make buying and selling equipment simple, transparent, and straightforward runs deep. At Purple Wave Auction, our #1 play is connecting buyers and sellers across the country with no reserves and no surprises. From ag and construction to fleet equipment, we're your trusted team. Purple Wave Auction, proud sponsor of K-State Athletics.
They look at us and wonder, what's out there?
We are.
We've never been the type to stand to the side, letting world-changing ideas go untested. We push even beyond our own expectations. Here is seen across the country and heard around the world. We strive to be bold, to be impactful, and to challenge the status quo.
Because from here,
And here.
And even here,
it's possible.
There has never been a better time to be part of the Big 12 than right now. This is a defining moment for all of us.
Big power hit from the outside. There it is.
Stuffed. But it cannot go over. Down the line, big swing. There you go. And an ace.
we truly are a different league.
Unlock more sports for one unbeatable price. Get unrivaled coverage all year long. Introducing the new ESPN Fox One bundle.
Well, it is a big night of volleyball again here tonight on ESPN+. If you're watching this one, want to know what to watch next, keep it right here on ESPN+. Not only this match, the big one tonight that Liz and I will both be watching, Colorado at Arizona State. We went home and immediately watched Baylor at Arizona State, and Arizona State won 3, which was a great match. J.J. O'Neal's team looks another impressive squad for the Sun Devils. They get 24th ranked Colorado tonight. Anna Barilovic, outside hitter for Colorado. If you haven't seen her play, gotta watch her tonight. She's unbelievable. And then if we get done early, you can always go over and watch Baylor play Arizona. By the way, I gotta mention right here on the right side of our shot, in the right corner, right here, right now, that is former K-State baseball player Will Brennan, who was a member of the Cleveland Guardians.
Hey.
And it was on injured reserve this year, but he is back this weekend for K-State. So he's trying to think he's incognito tonight here at the match, and he'll be fired up at me for pointing him out, but he is here tonight as one of the best players in K-State baseball history. Anyway, let's look at some highlights here of what happened in the first 2 sets. Well, stats, I should say, of what happened in the first 2 matches, 2 sets. Liz, your thoughts on what we've seen here to this point?
Well, definitely pretty dominant by K-State and kind of all around the match. You know, they're serving very tough. Texas Tech's having a really hard time with that. Offensively, not able to do much, and then they're making errors. And then K-State, their block really started getting going there late in that set and really just frustrating the attackers for Texas Tech. They just haven't had an answer all night.
K-State also 4 aces on the night, has been great. As we take a look at some of the highlights of what we've seen to this point, a lot of finishing from K-State's outside hitters. As Sadie Myers has 11 kills, hitting .524 on Anaya Clinton, 10 kills, 10 digs, already a double-double through 2 sets. That's her third straight double-double match. And Myers with her 11th straight double-figure match. Playing very well. Simone Sims, we talked about her, the outside, already 9 digs through 2 sets. So starting to kind of lock in that libero role for K-State. And listen, you said it, they've passed well all night long. Regardless of what Tech has been, we have seen that become a thing for K-State all night. Up 2 sets to none, looking to get this clean sweep of the Red Raiders here on Jersey night at Morgan Family Arena. And even a Liz Wagner-Bush jersey in the crowd here tonight for the All-American Liz Wagner. 12, of course, the number for Callie Gioshibidi-Raba, whose mom played pro volleyball and was an outstanding player and on the top 100 volleyball players of all time. And we looked through the list. Now, this is your list, right? You're on this list as one of the only 2-time All-Americans in K-State history, the first 2-time All-American in K-State history. We did not find you on the top 100 players of all time ranking from volleybox.net. But did see some U.S. players on that list, more international flavor and world view. But as you look at the great crowd that's here tonight, great tradition of K-State volleyball that started with Liz's group back in the late 90s and then rolled all the way to the current form. K-State trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. This program has been so many times before. Clinton from the back row, overdug by Grizzle, but right back to K-State. Another up by Grizzle. This one on Myers, thrown over the net by McDonald. Block on Johnson, and it's Williams again along with Myers.
Well, you got to give some credit to Grizzle there. You can see why she's leading the Big 12 in digs. I think she had 3 or 4 in that rally alone. Just phenomenal play by her in the back row.
She certainly has lived up to the billing here tonight. 12 digs for Grizzle. State now serving away from that red jersey on the Texas Tech side. McKenzie, the freshman, able to turn that into a point. For more on Grizzle, let's send it over to Sophie Smith, who's got more on the libero of Texas Tech.
All right, got a little ahead of myself there. Texas Tech coaching staff was really looking to put a little more athleticism in their libero position after graduating their 3-year starter, and that's what Sierra Grizzle has done. She's been flying all over the court tonight, but Coach Greystone said the best thing about her is that she's just fearless. She's got a lot of range defensively, covering a lot of space, and if she can see a ball, she's going to get to it.
Well, we've seen that here so far tonight. K-State able to use the block. Grizzle helping out with a pink night tonight for K-State. Breast cancer awareness, and she's got the pink star barrettes. Knocked over by the Red Raiders. Grizzle played 3 years at Wyoming before, or 2 years at Wyoming before coming to Texas Tech. Blocked by Lundgren, one-on-one. 7 blocks now for the Wildcats.
And we've talked about what Jordan Williams has been able to do in the last few matches for K-State, but Lundgren really has been coming alive with her blocking. Has been getting better, and then offensively starting to put more numbers on the board for the Cats.
Just under a block per set average for Lundgren since she's replaced Schmidt, and Schmidt is among the Big 12 leaders at 1.2 blocks per set. That ranks 8th in the conference when she comes back. Schmidt nursing a foot injury, and K-State hoping to get her back next week as they start their long road trip. Here's a look at Schmidt today, the native of Eagle, Nebraska. Senior middle hitter. Johnson unable to finish that for the right side. Fox a little bit inside the net, or inside the pin, able to finish over the net.
Just LeGrand hustling. She had to run one direction, and then the ball came right back over and hustling back the other direction. I think if you took stats on the running of a setter during a match, it would be interesting to see how many steps they get in a game.
Kansas State able to get the point and finish. Another sub, Contreras, who was in the back row as a passer, will come out. Maddie Smotherman, another freshman, in. She's out of Dallas, Texas. See if K-State picks on her right away. May have been attempted by Myers, but instead into the net. Service there by Shaley. Second in the Big 12 in kills per set. Second in the conference in points per set. And no different here tonight. 12 kills, hitting 500. Lundgren with a missile.
And we just talked about this, how great it is to see the freshmen coming alive in the middle for K-State.
Jason Mansfield and Steve Astor both felt that Lundgren offensively was a step ahead of, and could bring something to the floor that they hadn't had yet, the speed. And we saw it right there.
And certainly her playing time and connection with LeGrand is definitely building as they've been playing more and more together.
Yeah, you go to K-State practices, those freshmen have usually been grouped together, so you have Lauren Latham usually gets the center for Lundgren, so they've built a pretty good relationship. Avery Stones is a little banged up as an outside hitter. True freshman that saw some time earlier this year, part of that group. Top 25 recruiting class for K-State. Served just over by Pond. Wanted to hit McDonald on a back set, and Cochran misfired and McDonald swung and missed. Pond still serving. 2 aces for the freshman Pond. McKenzie, one-handed by Pond, played back in and over by Clinton. Right side, and a touch by K-State earns Knuff the kill. We'll see our 4th middle hitter of the night, Shelby Ignash, another true freshman in for Texas Tech, replacing Jasmine Martin. We heard Sophie talk about it earlier. Tony Greystone said we'd see the entire roster. McKenzie on the inside of the block. True freshman now out there for Texas Tech. All over the court.
Freshman all over the court for Texas Tech, that's right.
Grizzle. LeGrand could not finish. It'll end up a point for Texas Tech, and Grizzle will serve again. So after a slow start in the first 2 sets, Texas Tech hanging around in the 3rd. Pond forced to dive to get that up, and then Clinton can't hit it over. So a couple of missed passes on serve receive, and K-State a bit out of sorts.
That service pressure. Grizzle has 21 aces on this season so far.
Led Wyoming with 36 last year. Williams, who had a great first 2 sets. LeGrand will set Myers from the back row. Williams was snapping on a slide, and Texas Tech guessed wrong.
Myers hitting it right at the setter for Texas Tech. They always try to leave a little early, you know, they're a little shallow on that defense. It's a great idea there by Myers to hit that direction.
Tough adjustment on that one for McKenzie. As an outside hitter, heard before, and tell me if this is true or not, but for freshman hitters, the most difficult swings are those, the ones that are not perfectly in rhythm.
Yeah, that out of system, off the net, seeing the, harder to see the block, harder to know where you're hitting, and a little bit easier to make more errors.
Good example right there, but a good adjustment or a good break for Mackenzie. She hit the tape, and then the bounce landed in play.
Sometimes you just need a little luck.
Absolutely. Former district MVP, 4.0 GPA in the high school ranks. That looked like it might have been headed out had it not hit the tape. It worked out. Myers using hands. That's popped up by Tech. Near the official, and a block by K-State. Myers has 3 blocks in tonight's match. That ties her season high. Van Lannen. Midway through the season, has been added in the rotation as a server for the Wildcats. And Mackenzie unable to keep that in.
I see Texas Tech's running a 2-person serve receive. Very challenging, especially with the pace of the serves. But you'll see.
Ignash delivers a hammer. My goodness. High school All-American. 4th sports star out of Cass City, Michigan. Some talent with this freshman class for Texas Tech.
Yeah, when they get it all figured out.
Service ace.
You can see why Coach Greystone's so excited about this group.
Freshman Smotherman with an ace. That's her 2nd of the season. An air into the net. Just under 500 a year ago for the Red Raiders. And they're hovering around 500 this year, but kind of hit this thought that you stay the course with this group, this freshman group. Keep them all there. Got something building in Lubbock. Try and get back to the tournament for the first time since 2022. Ignash again. She'll go back to serve. Deep serve has Sims reaching for it. Fox blocked. Some music inadvertently fired off in the middle of that rally. Point to the Red Raiders. They've tied it up here in the 3rd. McDonald touched. LeGrand urging her teammates to come get it. Clinton into the back row, popped up and over by Ignash. Myers with only 1 blocker. Myers 13 kills, now 14 kills, hitting .519. LeGrand had to get that. Clinton gets a break. Smotherman thought it was too close. And a timeout taken midway through this 3rd set. 15-13, Kansas State by 2 as we head to a break. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN+. Kansas State breaking it down in their huddles. They get ready to come back out in the battle here in the third set after winning the first two. And this is why today is so important for the Wildcats. Try and get some good buys before a very difficult stretch. All 5 on the road coming up. A rarity. You normally don't see this in the Big 12, but I've noticed a few teams have this where they have a segment of the schedule all on the road or all at home. It'll be the case for K-State as they make a trip to Texas, come back for a road trip to Lawrence, and then the Utah swing. Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Long serve out of the timeout by Shaylee Myers, her third service error of the night. Shaylee a little frustrated with that one. Here's Texas Tech a side out. They'll serve with Cochran. A lot of subs used here early by Tech in this third set. As tightly contested as this one is, that could be a concern later as we get closer to the end. Clinton, I don't think, got that over. Ruled that it was touch and over. Tony Greystone has his hands up, so if this doesn't work out, it does, so it won't matter. But I think Tech would have challenged on that play.
Rightly so.
Instead, it worked out anyway. Ball don't lie. Right, Tony? Yeah.
That's right.
Cochran very close to the touchline there as she served. And Fox on the right side, one of her best swings. It's been a year of growth for Reagan Fox, who had a great fall practice, but hasn't seen it turn into success in matches once Big 12 play hit. Touch on the right side on Knuff. Tip over the net. Kept alive by the Red Raiders. Knuff on the right. Did she get it in? She did. Four for Knuff.
And Texas Tech at 12 subs already.
You're allowed 15 in one set. So that will be a problem for the Red Raiders. Going to have to make some decisions, and now it looks like Associate Head Coach Elisa Blair is talking over with Coach Greystone probably about that very thing. Like, all right, what do you want to do? We're in the final points of the third set. McKenzie roofed by K-State. That's 8 blocks for the Wildcats. Do you flip to a 5-1? You're going to have to keep some people in the back row. Perhaps you don't want to. That's still the decisions you got to make. You're Texas Tech, right?
Yeah. Tough decisions, especially when you're, fighting hard to win a set and do whatever it takes, and it's definitely limiting.
Because the mix, the young ones that you put in, so as we see Ignash rotate in here, that has given them a lift. So you don't want to take out the ones that have gotten you here to this point. You're in the dogfight now. Misplay by K-State on the serve. They just get it over. Chance for Tech. Ignash again ties it.
She's got some fire in her attacking. Explosive and heavy with that arm.
Clinton tries to end the run for the Red Raiders and does. 13 kills, 12 digs for Anaya Clinton. She's back to serve. Mentioned Texas Tech trying to get back to postseason for the first time since 2022 for the NCAA tournament. May have to wait a year. Holy cow, Ignash rolling right now at the middle for the Red Raiders. K-State has their own issues in that regard. They haven't been to the tournament since 2021. Felt they were snubbed 2 years ago, where they were 16-11 and had a high RPI. Disappointing year last year, but trying to get back to the postseason this year. Ignash, why not? This time blocked. It's Myers with a season high 4 blocks.
Able to, even though she's reaching out, turn those hands into the court, keep that ball in bounds.
Worked out. Ignash moved away from the bad serve receive, and it falls. And Tony Greystone is going to use a timeout as K-State celebrates up by 2 here in this best of 5. Leading with his team to try and keep it rolling. K-State has had it rolling from the start, something they talked about after the match with Iowa State. For more on that, let's go to Sophie Smith.
Coach Mansfield said that he was very proud of how his team connected offensively in the first set against Iowa State on Wednesday. He must be having a little bit of deja vu because they did that tonight as well. He said their passing, their aggressive serving, their ability to connect on defense has the ability to win them matches. And he kept saying that this is what this team is made of. This momentum is going to carry them into this big stretch that they have on the road.
All right, thank you. We saw that schedule earlier that we looked through about what's coming up. That's why tonight was important. You got to get the good vibes in. Beyond that, get the consistency back, figure it out so that you can take it and use those things when it gets tough, when you're at Baylor and at Utah and the rest.
Yes, there will be adversity, especially playing high-quality teams on the road. Baylor, I think, is one of the toughest places to play. And having done it myself, it's a tough environment to go. The travel's a bit tough, you know, so those are some really tough matches. And so as much momentum as K-State can gather here in this last home match before they hit the road is so important.
Loud environment here at Morgan Family Arena. We're lucky like that, baby. We also have earmuffs on, kind of helping us with the noise here at courtside. Otherwise, have your ears ringing leaving this place. Grizzle in the serve receive, a little too far, tapped over. Tech has switched to the 5-1 because of the subs. So who you see on the court is who they're going to have to run with the rest of this set. You got a couple of true freshmen up front with Ignash and McKenzie. Junior setter Cochran having to run a bit for this one. Back row attack for Rava, another freshman. Here comes Clinton. She'll get it through the freshman block of Ignash and McKenzie. And another timeout for Tony Greystone, trying to slow the roll of K-State. Wildcats on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, Coach Greystone trying hard not to let this set slip away from his young team, but it's hard when that personnel is not what you would want it to be to finish the set.
I think the first thing he said there was, we got to learn, we got to pass. I mean, right now, we talked about K-State's serve receive being so good and a point of focus tonight. Part of this 4-0 run has been poor serve receive by Texas Tech, and they're caught somewhat because you are out of subs. You can't get some people out and other ones in to pass better.
Yeah, and you see that they're running a 2-person serve receive sometimes, and that McKenzie's not back and passing. She's not a 6th rotation outside hitter, so they're hiding her. They do have Bellamy, and though she's come in to play, and she's able to pass and play back row. So it's interesting. Again, it's kind of a constant change for who's back there passing, and they just haven't been able to find that rhythm tonight.
It's been Rava that's been the focus of K-State's serving. Picking on the freshman, trying to stay away from Grizzle, the league's best, perhaps, libero, although we've seen some great ones come through Manhattan already just in the games we've done on television. Iowa State, another one the other night. Grizzle trying to direct traffic at a 3-person receive. So Texas Tech out of timeouts. Service coming from Van Lannen. McKenzie, Doug. LeGrand runs it down to Myers, who tips it in. Match point. It's over. K-State with another block, and they win it in 3. 10 blocks for K-State in 3 sets. LeGrand, 5 blocks. She doesn't get the double-double, but she gets another block. And the Wildcats hold here at home and get their 10th win of the season and 3rd conference win. Let's go to Sophie Smith, who's with Jason Mansfield.
Coach, the offensive connection tonight was outstanding. What did you think of your team's performance?
Yeah, I think the goal is to connect every match, and Shaylee was special tonight. But I think getting the middles involved, specifically Jordan, I think was a big goal every match. But Jordan's been really good, and it's awesome that she played well on her birthday.
Yeah, birthday girl, getting a big win for her. What was working for her in the middle tonight?
I think she's been really good behind Ava on the slide, so I think that connection has grown. It kind of started at Cincinnati, and it's been really good the last 3 matches, and we need it. She's been really good at it in practice, and it's awesome to see us pass the ball well enough to set her, and then Ava's trusting her more and more.
A couple tough games on the road. How are we going to take this momentum into that trip?
We just got to play our style of volleyball. We got to serve tough and play great defense. I thought our defense was phenomenal tonight, especially early. 21 digs in the first set. That's where it starts for us, and then hopefully offensively we can pass well enough and set well enough to take good swings. And obviously we're very lucky to have Shane and I, and they're taking great swings for us, and they did again tonight.
Great win, congrats, Coach.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Sophie, appreciate it. Jordan Williams, as you said, the birthday girl, turned 23 today, picks up another great performance. We'll have the numbers for you when we return.
Introducing the Kansas Lottery Rivalry Riches starting lineup. We're all players with the Rivalry Riches scratch ticket. It's your shot to win up to $50,000 instantly. Plus, you can enter your ticket into the Kansas Lottery Play-On app for a chance to win great game day experiences.
Need a second opinion? Look no further than Kate's Heating and Cooling. I was told that my 15-year-old furnace had a cracked heat exchanger by a local HVAC company. I wasn't convinced and wanted a second opinion, so I called Kate's, and I'm so glad I did. Their team conducted a thorough and professional free inspection with a combustion analyzer, and in 15 minutes, Kate saved me $14,000.
10-year manufacturer's warranty? Not here. With Kate's, you're covered for life. Kate's, where service makes the difference.
Morgan Family Arena packed to the rafters tonight. A special environment, no doubt. Here comes another block. Cross court, stuck it in. As if this place needed any more energy, it is electric in this building. And then the block on Warhol. What a rally! And it's Fox with a hammer.
Entertaining and unpredictable, Big 12 has a champion to crown, and AT&T Stadium is where we're going to decide it.
Into the corner, touchdown!
Kansas State gets it done in straight sets over Texas Tech. They improved to 10-4 on the year, 3-4 in the Big 12 as they continue their push for the postseason. The Wildcats came in tonight 34th in the RPI. They're one of 10 teams that rank in the top 35 in the RPI for the Big 12, the nation's #2 conference. And here are the numbers as they just steamrolled Texas Tech in front of a packed house tonight. Everything really working for the Wildcats, and you feel like they did get things righted a little bit here, a little bit of confidence as you head on the road. He mentioned Jordan Williams. Really, K-State, they pass well enough to be able to spread the wealth, but it felt like LeGrand, even on 2 passes, right? On a grading scale of 1 to 3, even on passes 2 or 1, she was still getting the ball to Jordan Williams.
Yeah, I think it's an important part of their offense that they have to get better at, and this is a perfect match to try to work out some of those kinks, because you've got to be able to push middle and push quick in transition plays, and that will help open up the outside hitters, which will make defense very tough for other teams, and especially when you're going against big blocks like they're going to see on the road here this next week.
Now, Texas Tech moving forward, we mentioned it during the match. Listen, it's a year of development and change. They're trying to be resilient as they go through this rough stretch of tough teams here early. But there is some young talent on that team for Texas Tech and Tony Greystone. Excited about the future for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I can see why he's very, very excited about this group. And, you know, and then he mentioned, you know, kind of working through, they don't let that kind of get them down. Yes, they're 0-6 in the Big 12, and so you can't focus on that. They got to focus on continuing to get better, and it will pay off for this group.
And they took some steps tonight. Ignash obviously showed a little bit of mettle, and then also Grizzle continues to star as one of the best liberos in the Big 12. That'll do it for us for the match here tonight. Thanks to Director Will Rizza and our entire crew, for Sophie Smith, for Liz Wagner-Bush, for all those who came dressed in jerseys tonight. That one a fan of the Savannah Bananas. I'm Brian Smoller. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN, and all games airing on the ESPN Network are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Good night from Manhattan.